Aidan, and welcome back to Old Rusty Restorations. Today we have got my 1098cc Morris Minor engine that is out of my 1963 two-door Morris Minor Coupe. This is a standard A-series engine, fitted to most MG midgets, minis, Morris Minors, any sort of small car, MG 1100s, 1000s, that sort of thing. Most of them had the A-series engine and variations of. So this one, 1098cc, what I'm going to be doing to it is stripping it down, doing a light restoration on it. So I'm putting all new valves and stuff in, valves, springs, guides into the cylinder head. That'll be in the next video. But in this video I'm going to sand down all the block, clean it all back to a fairly bare metal surface, mask off all the areas I don't want to paint, like the mating surface that goes between the block and the cylinder head. And then I'm going to brush paint, and some parts have to be spray painted, but for the most part I'll brush paint the engine block with the BMC green. Yeah, so I'm going to get this all sanded down, then I'll move on to painting it. I'll mask it off, paint it, and I've already taken the ancillaries off, so dynamo, distributor, clutch, inspection covers on this side have all come off. And in the next video, after I've painted the block, I'll be moving on to the cylinder heads, and I'll be putting all new valves in one of them and cleaning up and painting the other one. I've got a spare one with all the valves in it already. And I'll also be fitting new cylinder head studs and taking these ones out. I'll be taking these ones out in this video. I'll be fitting new ones in the next one, unless I decide to split that and put it into the same video. But for now, I'm going to get in, I'm going to paint this. Once it's painted, I'll move on to the further processes. And if you're wondering where I've been, why I haven't posted anything for 4 years, roughly, I just haven't had the time, to be honest. Haven't had the time. I just haven't had the internet either, really, to post any videos or do any restoration, video content or anything like that. So now, starting off again with this 1098cc block, out my Morris Minor, I'm going to paint this, get this all rebuilt, do the valves, all of that, get it done, put it on my bench. Then I'm going to go on to the Morris Minor itself. I've got to weld up all the sills, front end, back end, it's all got to be welded. So I'm going to have to move on and do that. And then as well as that, I've got a few finishing touches to do to my MG, which you haven't seen on the channel yet. And I've got them down the future, I've got more Fergie work and Fordson and Matty Ferguson. I've got loads of stuff lined up that I need to get on with, but this is where I'm starting with painting this block, rebuilding it, getting it to how I want it, making a good, reliable running engine, and then getting my Morris Minor on the road. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into stripping this paint off. Right, so to do this, I've got a variation of wire wheels, sandpaper, wire brushes, these sort of things, knotted wire wheels, to be, sanding down the main part of the block. I'll be using for that, I've got drill I'll be using, and angle grinder as well, if I need to use the knotted wire wheel. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go in with a smaller piece, like this, and go in all sort of fine gaps, go through all them, and then start with the slightly bigger ones and try and go over the main parts of it. And then I'll use sandpaper to scuff it over, and I then will use finer sandpaper and finer, and then I'll paint it once I get it to how I need it to be. So I'm going to put you in a time lapse while I clean over this side of the block. Oh, and always wear eye protection. Right, so I'm going to try and get this as best I can, see if you can see it on the camera, but this is pretty much about as clean as I'm going to get it. I'll go over it with some sandpaper and get in the nooks and crannies, but for now, first clean on this side seems to be pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty much bare metal. Looks quite good. So that's now all cleaned up on this side. Obviously I've got to do down here, but I'm doing the block bit, the main block casting first. So I've got cleaned it up on this side. So now I'm going to move around to this side, where you can see a lot easier to clean, but it is still rusty. So I'm going to go over to this side, clean this side up. I'll put the covers back on for this so that I don't get all the shit in there. So I'll clean this side up, get that done, and yeah, it's not looking too bad. Once I've done this side, I'll then move to the front and it'll be pretty much there. I didn't do cylinder heads. Now, as for cylinder heads, this is what I've got. So I've got a spare cylinder head here with all the valves and springs in, and then I've got a new rocker shaft and a bare shell cylinder head that is all cleaned out, pretty much ready to be put together and to go on. And then they're the valve inspection covers, and then the clutch, which has got a fair amount of meat on it. It's got to clean up that surface. And then that's the carburetor as well, on my shelf of many parts that are built off of various vehicles. Right, so I'm going to clean up the rest of the block, get that done, then I'll move on to clean the cylinder heads. I'll clean that one up first. It's pretty much got a lot of green paint on it anyway, but I'll clean it up. I've got some paint on the way, so that'll be here, and I'll paint that. I'll probably be painting that real time tomorrow, but for you in probably about 2 or 3 minutes, I should imagine. Right, without further ado, I'm going to get on and clean the other side of the block up, and then clean the head. Right, hello there and welcome back. It is now the next day and I've already come straight back in and started cleaning up some more of the sub-assemblies. So what I've done here is I've used the wire wheel on the drill and a fine wire brush. I've gone through and I've cleaned all of this up in here. It was all just rust, so I've cleaned it all up. It looks pretty much brand new really. I've gently sanded these surfaces back down with a light wire wool. I've also wire wheeled the whole rest of the cylinder head as well, and all on there, as you can see, it's nice and clean all the way through. And then underneath it, if I can get there we go. Underneath it, I've also cleaned up in each combustion chamber where the valves seat. In there. So now that's done, I've got to wait for my valves to get here, along with the paint, and I'll then paint all this green. Obviously I'll paint it the BMC green, and then I'll fit the valves, and I'll show you how to fit the valves, reseating new valves into the old head and putting the valve guides in along with the springs, and then putting the push rods, tappets and that, and the head studs back in there, putting everything back on that, and then that'll be pretty much it all done. Alright, so the cylinder head's done, and I've also finished off this side of the block, as you can see, all shiny. I've done this side of the oil pan, but I need to do it again. I'll go over some sandpaper, get it a bit cleaner. I'm going to do these covers that should be on here, I'm going to do them. And the front of the engine, I've got to wire wool even, the clutch friction pad effectively. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the covers that go on the side of the engine. I'll clean the front of the engine up, and then I will be back when it is time to paint. Welcome back, and today, or yesterday actually, I finished off painting. Well, I say finish off, put the first coat of paint on the top half of the block. I haven't done the bottom half yet. Put the first coat of paint on the top half of the block. As you can see, it's still a little bit patchy when you get close to it in certain places. So that's that done. So that's the top half of the block. It's got the first coat of paint on it, which looks absolutely lovely. Along with that, obviously the new cylinder head studs have been fitted. That'll be in the other video. A cylinder head, I've also painted it, and the valves are all in it now as well, which will also be in the other video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm now going to move on. I'm going to take the badges off this and then clean it up, paint this. That's the rocker cover, so I'm going to paint that. And once that's all painted, I'll put the new badges on, which I've got over here. Brand new badges. They've got the old patents on. So there's a patent badge and the Morris badge. This is what it would have had on originally. As you can just about see on these. You can't really see that one, that was a Morris one. You can just about see the smaller wording on that one where the patents were, look. Just in there. Anyway, I'll clean that up, paint that, and yeah, then I'll put the second and third coats on that. I'll paint the bottom half of that. Then once that's done, that'll be the end of this video, and I'll then in the next video be assembling everything together, gapping it all up, and then putting it back under my bench until it is ready to put in the engine in the car. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, here we are. This is the same video, but I'm a long way down the line. Bit of a sneak peek here. There's been a lot going on, so it's been, I don't know, a couple of months since the last time I filmed this. So it's been a little while. I've had to push the engine sort of out of the way a little bit, so I had to put it together. I got on there 1098cc engine out of another 1098 out of a little MG midget that's there. So I'll show you what I've done with the Morris engine. Yeah, but it's been a little while, so I got a lot of different bits and pieces. The video is going to end here, and I think I'll put another part up, which will be putting the valves in, because I think I filmed it, but it's been a long time, so I can't really remember. You have to forgive me on that one. So I'll show you the engine. I'll show you what I've done to it as best I can anyway, because it is now under a bench, sort of. You know, it was covered up. I just haven't covered it for this. I'll show you what I've done to it, and then I'll end the video, and we'll yeah, go from there. Here it is. Here's a little Morris Minor engine. As you can see, it is all in one piece. I painted the whole engine. You didn't see this last time, but I did actually. That's just a temporary cap on there, ignore that. I actually painted and fitted the badges to the rocker cover on the Morris Minor, on the rocker cover. So you can see all the new valve train in there, your thermostat housing, your water pump. I've painted the fan blade, so that's all nice and shiny. I haven't painted the bottom half of the engine yet. I've decided I'm going to do that once I've stopped, you know, sitting on the bottom half of the engine. So I'll probably do that when it's in the car. But yeah, I'll put the clutch back on for now, so it's just there in storage really, because that's been kind of, the Morris Minor's been pushed to the back of the line really. So yeah, that's what I've got with that, and I'll quickly show you where the Morris Minor is at in terms of how far through the restoration it is really. Well, here's the Morris Minor. It's not really, well, I haven't really done anything to it. The last thing I did to it was get the engine sorted out, and that's about it. It's being pushed behind by you know, projects. This last time I filmed the rest of the stuff on the Morris Minor engine, didn't even have these. We got two of these. There's two of these little midgets, but I'm not going to show the other one because that's a separate video that I'm going through that one in. So you'll see that hopefully uploaded in the next few weeks. But yeah, the Morris Minor is kind of in the same state it was last time. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that's where it is. The front end's cut out. I haven't welded the new bits in yet, but yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so that's about it really, I think. And that's the Morris Minor engine pretty much done. I've still got a few little bits to do to it, and obviously a lot to do to this car behind me. But there'll be another video that I'll put up, and it'll be of the valves when I fit the valves into it. Yeah, I think that's about it really. Yeah, that's it. That'll be the end of this video. But thank you very much for watching, and hope you have a good one. Do well.